IG. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, all the YouTube listeners. We are now tuned in to the Reach Podcast Show with LeVar Ellis, where every show reaches beyond the ears of the listeners. As you guys can see, we have an amazing guest this week, my man, Mr. Derrick Ray, CEO of Ray Recruiting. So we want to welcome everyone to the show and to the stream. We appreciate you guys tuning in week in and week out. Again, welcome to the show, D. Ray. Appreciate you being here. My brother from another mother, man. We got some very interesting things to talk about, and we appreciate you guys here on the IG channel. So let us know if the sounds are good, if our levels are good, and we will definitely be paying attention to your comments. If you have any questions, just put it in the comments, and we will definitely be answering those questions as the show goes on. And then check the sound for me, bro. So let's get one thing set right here. And guys, I hope everybody has had a great week. Hope everything's been good. There's been some blessings coming through on my end, man, and we'll be talking about that in the days and the weeks to come here pretty soon. But as we always do, this is a time where we want to let you guys know to stay locked in with the Reach Podcast Show. We do a lot of amazing things, not only in the community. We have a lot of amazing individuals that we want to highlight. And today is no exception. And just make sure that every week you tune in from 10:30 to noon. We are here, same channel. We stream live every week on Facebook, on Instagram, and also we'll be streaming live on the Facebook channel every week in and week out. So again, we appreciate you guys tuning in. But I want to get to the segment of the show where we thank our show sponsors. And if you want to be a show sponsor of the Reach Podcast Show, all you have to do is hit us in the DM, or you can email us at the reachpodcastshow@gmail.com. We can talk about getting you up and get your business up, or if you just want to be a quiet sponsor, man, we welcome that too. But we'll go through the companies that are backing the show and showing us love week in and week out. None other than Dad Chronicles. The show is powered by Dad Chronicles, which is actually my nonprofit organization. It makes the world go round, is what I like to say. But we tie this show and Dad Chronicles mission and the things that we're doing with Dad Chronicles to this show. This show was actually created to be the voice of the nonprofit, but has just took a spin and is now doing its own thing. And so we want to bring everybody else into the mix. So, anytime that you're trying to build, if you see this logo right here, that's me. That's the nonprofit. Just please support and just check out all the things we're doing. The website is strolling at the bottom of the screen. And for you guys on IG, you can check us out at www.dadchronicles.com and update the updates on that website comes weekly, so you can see that. The first company I'd like to highlight is a company that has just been phenomenal, and also my sister, she's been doing some amazing things over here at Diamond Fit Nutrition, man. Diamond Fit Nutrition Club, where you can get your smoothies and your teas. It's all about health, wellness, and awareness. They are definitely providing the services and providing customer service that's just amazing. And so I like to, you can hold your cup up, man. I like to shout them out. We get over here, we get our tea, we get our smoothies in the morning. So shouts out to Diamond Fit Nutrition for allowing the show just to be part of their everyday journey. I guess I would say every week journey, but of course we support each other from day to day. And if you're looking for the address and you're looking for how to follow them on social media, you can find that stuff at the bottom of the screen. And just come and check these girls out, man. They're doing some amazing things over here. The team is great. And you definitely want to be a part of what they have going on. Secondly, I like to shout out to my girl, Candace Joseph and the Joseph Consulting Firm. This is a company that will take your business ideas from beginning to end, and it becomes a matter of your message, your ideas, their way, and your success. So this is definitely a company that can help you build your business, give you your business plans, give you all your paperwork. And again, if you're on IG, you can just go and check out the live feed and you can get everything that you need to see on there. But Candace Joseph and the Joseph Consulting Firm, shouts out to their whole team. They've been doing some amazing things for the Reach Podcast Show. So I definitely want to make sure that if you're somebody that's looking to start a business, you're in business, you've been in business 20 years, you can still give them a holler and they can definitely help you out. So check them out, visit the website that's at the bottom of the screen and tell them the Reach Podcast Show sent you. And they'll definitely at least give you some advice, if nothing else. So you definitely want to check those guys out. Next, I'd like to highlight the executive suite. This young lady here, Miss Kivia Jones, and the executive suite and the whole team over there, they're definitely a plant-based organization. It's plants over pills is what it's all about. Because again, health, wellness, and awareness is a major thing. So if you've been dealing with any type of illnesses and doctors have you on all type of meds, this, that, and other, you definitely want to get with this company. And we'll play a reel from them really quick so that you can understand a little bit more about their company.
This is Kivia Jones of the Executive Suite. The Executive Suite is a natural skincare and body care product line. Each of our products are created with your overall self-care, health, and wellness in mind. We definitely believe in plants over pills because cannabis has saved each of our lives. And if you are listening to the Reach podcast show with LeVar Ellis, it could possibly change yours too.
So yes, if you are looking for a better way to go about your health and realize some things that can be done differently, you definitely want to check out the Executive Suite. And again, their website is scrolling at the bottom of the page. And again, send them a DM, let them know you heard about them on the Reach podcast show, so they can know that we are making a difference here and supporting their business. And you want to take care of yourself. It all starts with us. We have to be mindful about the things that we're doing. So again, if you're on IG, it's the Executive Suite, SWEET, executivesuite.com. Check that website out and send back a review or something. Send an email, a DM, and let us know what you think about that company. So shouts out again to the Executive Suite. Next, I'd like to get into a company that, an organization, I guess I would say, that I've been a part of and been having the pleasure to be a part of for the last 2.5 years. It's none other than the World Youth Foundation. And this is an organization that's helped me along the way in so many different ways, exposing me to different things around the city, giving us opportunities to get into the community. And if you've been involved in anything community service wise, different events across the city, the World Youth Foundation has a large part to do with that, or they've been part of the planning committee along the way. So big shouts out to the World Youth Foundation. And we have a department, I guess a segment of the World Youth Foundation, which I'm the executive of. And every second Saturday of the month, we instill back into the kids, and we call it YIP Saturdays. And we expose them to different opportunities, different things going on that they might not otherwise be exposed to. And YIP stands for Youth Innovative Incubator Program. And so we'll play a short video about that so you can get an idea of what we do with the kids. You can definitely go to YouTube and check it out. So, as you can see, guys, we're doing some amazing things with the World Youth Foundation, and you definitely want to get your kids involved with this organization. We're doing a lot of stuff when it comes to community service, building up their character, building up their integrity, and just giving them an opportunity to grow as young adults in the way that they should. Because a lot of us didn't have that opportunity or didn't have someone to go to or turn to in those times. And then next, I would say nextly, man. I don't know why I'm always saying nextly. I'm saying nextly, but again, I'd like to highlight another company. I'm an ambassador for them. And again, it's all about health and wellness. It's none other than the Restore Cryotherapy in Sugarland. Man, this is a company that we definitely have to pass by. I'm just actually just thinking about that. It's good for athletes. If you're an athlete, you can go over here and you can restore your body. They have cryotherapy, they have compression, they have the sauna, they have the cryotherapy chamber that you can get in for full body. They're doing some amazing things. You can get stretched out, and it's all about recovery. And they have preventative measures as well. But it's definitely a company. If you're not even an athlete, it's for everybody. For young and old. And you can go over there and you can check out the two young ladies to the left in the photo that I just put up. Shouts out to Miss Haley and the young baby Miss Mystique. They're going to give you some awesome customer service over there, and they're providing some great, great, great services. And then they also have drips. So you want to be a super athlete, you want to stay in tip top shape, definitely go and check out Restore Cryotherapy in Sugarland. And again, let them know the Reach Podcast Show sent you, and you might just get a little something extra. You never know. But yeah, just go and check out Restore. Last, I'd like to highlight a store that, man, is up and coming, doing some amazing things right here in the city, and it's none other than the Black Store over in the south side of Houston. These guys are doing some amazing things, and we'll play one last video for them guys, and we'll get rolling with everything else. Let's see.
If you haven't been to the Black Store Beauty Supply Experience, this is a personal invitation to come experience the best customer service at a beauty supply store. Bringing you all the beauty brands that you know and love, but most importantly, we support more than 70 local Black-owned brands in the state of Texas and Louisiana. Like having access to a Black-owned pop-up shop 7 days a week. For the ladies who love to pamper themselves, please come experience our nail salon and spa. For the fellas, y'all can look forward to a barbershop coming soon. We'll have our own personal man cave back here. And for those who have a thing for agriculture, we definitely want you to come visit our backyard where you can find our community garden. Thanks for tuning in to the Reach Podcast Show with LeVar Ellis. Y'all enjoy this great content.
So again, that's just a snippet on the Black Store. And I'd like to also highlight that on tomorrow, we have another amazing night that we'll be putting on, which is our poetry night. So if you don't have anything to do, or you have the opportunity to get out and check it out, man, come by the Black Store tomorrow. Myself, along with my partner, WPP Radio, we're putting on another poetry night. We're going to be doing it every last Friday of the month from now until the end of the year at least. And it's going to be housed over there at the Black Store. We got our residency with them. The first two shows, well, actually the first three shows have been amazing. And I'm going to tell you something. For those of you that are looking at the weather like I've been, and you say, man, it's going to rain. The show been live because it's rained each night, and each night has been a great, great, great night over there at the Black Store. So the information is up on the screen. So come out and check us out tomorrow. Only a $10 admission. We got some amazing poets that'll be on and doing their thing. So come and check us out, and let us know that you saw it here again on the Reach Podcast Show. But without further ado, man, again, I'd like to welcome you to the show. I appreciate you coming in. I guess just go ahead and introduce yourself, man. Let people know who you are.
Well, I'm Derrick Ray. First of all, I want to say I appreciate you allowing me to be on the show. It's
Absolutely.
an honor and a privilege, and I thank you for that.
Yeah.
But no, my name is Derrick Ray. I'm CEO of Ray Recruiting. Come from a long road, a long journey of things that I've done, I've been a part of. But one thing about it has always been consistent sports. I love it.
Yeah.
I've always been a part of it, wanted to be a part of it since a little boy, since 1989, watching the Pistons play against, you know what I'm saying, in the finals. So
right.
It's real big for me against the Lakers. So go that far for me.
Okay. That's what's up. So let me ask you this. So it's so much we could talk about, man. And again, like I say, I'm just glad you're here because there's a lot of different things that I have questions about, and I'm interested in how you see it and why you did what you did. But give us a little background. We'll start there. So who is Derrick Ray? Why would somebody want to listen to Derrick Ray? And let's talk about the journey of where you come from. And let me tell y'all something, man. If y'all, again, for those who've been following me and my oldest son, Dalen, he played for the Cobras as a young man, and now he's up in 10th grade at High Tower High School. but y'all know about Stafford Cobras. If you follow my page, you know about the Stafford Cobras. This man has been a coach with Stafford Cobras for a minute. Again, they're starting a new season right now, and they're out on the field practicing. Um, and you're giving back to the youth, man. And I know you see a lot of kids grow up and come up through that organization, but that's the connection that we have. You know, that's how far it goes back all the way. It's been 7-8 years, I guess it's been right now, and probably even longer than that. You know, when I think about it, probably even longer than that. And then to come full circle, to come full circle and come back. He's getting into real estate. I'm getting into real estate. We're doing it at the same time. And I want to shout out to our man Mo Brown. Talking about Mo Brown, Lewis Brown over at Mo Better Boxing. Shout out to the whole team. Shout out to Damon Watterson. And we got guys that are coming together, and we're trying to bring back this Black Wall Street whole idea, and go into businesses and do different things. But let's just start from the beginning. So, who is Mr. Derrick Ray? Is what I was getting at. So, who is that fella, and give us a little bit about your background.
Derrick Ray, man, he's a father, he's a husband, first and foremost, and that's always first for me. So I worked for the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for 20 years. I actually just recently retired at 41. People couldn't believe it. I said, "Man, what are you doing? You're retiring. You can't do that. You're 41 years old." So actually, I can't.
Right.
Actually, I can't retire. I can't go into what I want to do. When you do something for so long, and you see so many things, you say, "Hey, I did it for this long. I need to go ahead and complete it so I can walk away with something."
Yeah.
As far as a pension, what I'm saying, my health insurance for my family and myself secure for the rest of our lives.
Right.
So we're good.
Yeah.
So at this point now I can go do me.
Yeah. I gotta interrupt you right there, right? Because we've been talking about a bunch of different things, and kids growing up without their dads and stuff like that is a big thing for me, right? So I'm listening to you saying you're 41. I got you by a couple of years, right? And you're about to retire, and you've been doing what you've been doing for 20 years. The thing for me when I give back to the kids is trying to help them find their why early in life, so that way they can set up their lives to do what you just said. Get something done, do it for a while, complete it, and be able to have something built up so that way you straight. Was that really your idea when you were doing it, or is that just how God bless you and it worked out that way?
Actually, to be honest with you, everything I've done in my life has been sort of calculated. To be
Okay.
honest with you, man. I've been married for over 21 years.
Yeah.
I knew who I wanted. I met my wife. I wanted her.
Yeah.
I married her. People like, "Man, you get married 20 years
Yeah.
old? What are you crazy?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little crazy, but at the same time, I know what I want. I didn't want it to pass by. Started working. I've always, but one thing I did not do that I always wanted to do, I want to get my education. I want to go to school. I always felt like education is very important, and it held me back in my life for a long time.
Right.
So recently, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, I went on and enrolled in school. Told my wife I was going to do it, and did it, and just recently graduated in May. So this year,
Congratulations, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
So from McMurray University, shout out to them. But
Yeah.
the thing about it is completing, because one thing about it being a father, as you know, I've always been brought up in a household, and I love my dad. I love it's my parents. Don't get it twisted. But as I always do as I say. What I'm saying? Not as I do. But I want to do as I say and watch what I do.
Watch what you do. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I want to get that to them and let them know it can be accomplished.
Right.
But I'm real big on that and my family. So sports has always been a tie-in for me. So coaching youth sports. My oldest son, he graduated 2012. My middle son graduated 2018. Because both of them earned full scholarships.
Yeah.
My second one went D1. My first one went NAIA. And if you don't understand what that means, it's just different levels.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, education was 100% paid for. And I got my youngest son coming out in 2028. So I've always said with my oldest son, I was young. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, I have my youngest son, and it comes to the point where, wow, now he's about to graduate. What do I do?
Yeah.
He's in his junior year. I don't have this money stacked up for him to go to college.
Right.
I talk about college, but we all play. He always played ball. I always coached him. So I made it a fact. I sat down and read a book about how to get a kid a scholarship. And, of course, coaching through AAU and youth sports, I knew so many athletes. Some of them, like you said, with our fathers, or no guidance.
Right.
You know, that's the thing that gets you. You know, and then like I said, I worked for the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for 20 years, so I see what happened to those kids when they don't have that guy.
And that's where I wanted you to go before we got too deep into the sports world. You know, let's talk a little bit about what you saw, and I can only assume, man, that if it wasn't why you did what you were doing, it definitely encouraged you along the way.
Definitely.
So talk a little bit about, you know, the employment with the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. You know, what that did for you.
It was very interesting, to be honest with you. There's ways to look at it, and you know, I retired as a captain, so I've seen a lot of different avenues from management, from being an officer from the beginning. It's just, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's like if people that go to prison, it's like slavery.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You know what I mean? No, hands down, it's legalized slavery. So once you get into that system, it's tough, man. It's really tough, and you see these youngsters. Like when I went in, I was like about 20 years old, 20, 21. So you got to understand that I'm young too.
Right.
So as you get older,
Two sides of the spectrum.
right?
Yeah.
So as you get older, you start saying, God, these guys are getting younger and younger. Now I'm seeing kids my son's age.
Wow.
In here.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Guys that got, some of them got maybe 5, 6 years. Some of them got 60 years of life, you know? So, and that whole attitude has changed.
Right.
But I'll tell you one thing that Texas Department of Criminal Justice taught me was how to communicate with people. I mean, I dealt with parents. I deal with parents from coaching. I deal with, killers, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
For example.
Right.
And from every spectrum, from guys that got life, people that's doing well in life, I've always had that sense of respect because the communication. You know how to talk to people, try to find that ground, that ground of respect.
Right.
It takes you so far in life.
Right.
And so many people get hurt, killed, maimed, anything like that inside the prison. I never had that issue. Never had that problem because of respect.
Right.
I wasn't soft. I was tough on them, but as I got older, and I was like a father figure, giving them guidance. Like, you need to do this, you need to do that, because it scares you.
Right.
It scares you as you grow older. You're like, wow, these could be any one of my son's friends.
Where the
you know
world
what I'm saying?
going? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's scary, and you want to give back, and you want to try to save these other ones. Because I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of these guys, we hear about these stories about people that that came out the ghetto or came out the hood and they made it. So they highlight that individual.
Mm-hmm.
And for every one of those, it's hundreds of thousands that didn't make it because they didn't have that guidance. So I don't like that stigma saying, well, he made it, so you can make it. He had a different circumstance. You know what I'm saying? He was able to get the help. And I praise him, and that's awesome. But what about the others that don't? There's a lot of others that don't, and they end up going into the institution.
Yeah.
Where their life has changed forever.
Yeah.
So I want to try to prevent that. That's why I've always started youth coaching. And it came to a fact, like I said, when my son got older. But now, what do we do after this? We got to get these guys some opportunities to change.
Right. Right.
And give them an education for free. So that's what I did, and I started recruiting. At first, it was just like getting my son an opportunity, which I was able to do for a ride in Iowa. And I mean, it was exciting, man, as a parent to do that. And I worked a lot of nights, just calling coaches, emailing coaches, sending film. I might have sent it to, I'm telling you, to over, I know for a fact, over 200 schools.
Okay, so that way I don't get lost, and also our listeners don't get lost. What inspired you to do it actually came from your son and helping him.
Right.
Is where the whole idea sprang from.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah, because I had to make a way to get him in school.
Yeah.
I know I didn't have the money.
Yeah. So. and so it's crazy because I think about that now, and I'm listening to your story, and I'm gonna get with you already, for Dalen, because that first time around, you don't have the experience, you don't know what to do, and it just becomes this situation where you got to figure it out. Exactly. And I mean, you've turned that into a whole business. So I know you've had a good time and a good journey with that. So what do you think was the biggest thing you learned about the process, and being a recruiter?
That's a great question. The biggest thing I learned is relationships.
Is everything.
Relationships are everything. I can tell your relationship with your son's high school coach, AAU coach. Speaking of AAU, I'm gonna give a shout out to Youth Defenders. That's the program that I coach with.
That's what's up.
Boy, Larry, he does a really good job over there. So, but having that relationship with people and man, it's it's unbelievable. A lot of times parents feel like, hey, what I've learned is that coaches they're not responsible for your son getting a scholarship. They're not, it's not their job. Their job is to win football games. That's what their job is, to win football games and mentor these young kids as teachers and instructors. That's their job. Their job is not. Now you have some special coaches out there that go over and beyond.
You being one of them.
Man, I'm telling you, I'm talking about from the high school level.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, because I'm also working on my teacher certification as well, so I can. At this point in time in my life, I'm doing whatever I want to do. It's got to be something I love to do. It got to be something in my heart.
Yeah.
So,
you paid your dues, man.
Pay my dues. Now everything else from the rest of my life is gonna be things I love to do.
Right.
I refuse to do something that I don't love to do. I'm not passionate about.
Right.
But for example, great coaches like you mentioned High Tower. They got a great new coach over there named Cornelius Anthony, the head coach. He came from my alma mater, Terry High School.
Okay.
So that's another great coach.
Right.
He coached my son.
Okay.
He coaching your son. He's gonna do everything he can to help these kids, and you're gonna watch that program grow.
Okay.
I promise you.
Okay. That's good news,
man.
So, Dalen, if you tuned in, man, keep working hard like you're doing. He's been stamped by Coach D. Ray, so that's good. That's good to know.
So shout out to him as well as Lon McNeil, which the defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Two guys I know, we grew up together. So that program is going to grow, but they're going to help their kids. You don't have that many coaches like that. I'm telling you that right now. Mm-hmm. So when you get blessed with a coach like that, respect them, do what they say, and trust the process.
Right.
That's what these youngsters have to learn, what they have to do. But another coach, for example, a coach over there, Darnell Jackson at Terry High School, another great coach. Terry High School has been great. All my kids graduated from there. So, and they all earn scholarships, full ride.
Right.
And they come primarily from their coaches.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
So that's really important for parents to understand, have that good relationship with those coaches and let them do their job while you do your job and try to get your son a scholarship.
Yeah.
Tell your son to be respectful, do what the coach say, and because they're not going to put them in harm's way. If you feel that way, you probably shouldn't be at that program. If you really feel that way, you need to go ahead and move to another program, sell your house, go to another city or whatever case may be, and go to another school.
I'm gonna ask a question at that point. So, one of the biggest things that I try to tell my son is the integrity, the work ethic, all of that. What are some things that you would share with people that's listening on IG and on Facebook that have all these different athletes, up and coming athletes? What would be something that you would tell an athlete or tell the parent of an athlete? Because you already mentioned some things. Listen to your coach. Trust this process. What are some things that you would tell them from your experience that they need to be serious about? And in essence, how soon should you be thinking about these things? At what age should you be thinking about it?
You need to be thinking about it right now. The main thing they need to be thinking about, first and foremost, is their education, academics. I don't care how good you are. And kids hit this with them. Kids hit all the time. Yeah, but those grades actually take effect your freshman year. Your freshman year can come back and hurt you your senior year. You need this GPA or you need this grade point average. I'm telling you right now, your freshman year is probably the most important year because it's your most, you're coming into a high school, you're a freshman, you're like 14, 15 years old, you don't think it's that serious. They can come back and bite you. That's why it's very important that parents really harp down on that education for those kids and monitor. Stay involved. Know their teachers.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I email my son's teacher. I'm talking about from elementary to high school. I used to email them all the time.
Yeah.
And once the teacher knows that you care about that child and you're involved,
they're gonna let you know.
They're gonna show more attention to that child.
Absolutely.
I guarantee you. I don't care where you at, what you're doing. You show your child that attention, and in this day of time, parents try to put everything on the teacher. This teacher ain't doing this. It ain't my child. Mm-hmm. When I grew up, my mom believed everything the teacher said. Yeah. To be honest with you, it probably was 100% true. And or 99, and the 1% is because of the 99%, and it was always true. So, with that being said, our parents today, we would take our kids back, and that's cool. But we gotta hold our kids accountable to what they're supposed to do, and they're supposed to be respectful. They're supposed to do what they're supposed to do. Man, my mom used to sit in the classroom with me when I was like in 6th grade. Yeah. It's the most embarrassing day of my life. Wow. But it changed a lot of stuff. It changed my actions. Yeah. So, that's important. That's what I would tell for the parents, stay involved with the academics, especially. their freshman year. Because their freshman year, that's when it really started in the counting and the whole.
Yep.
You know,
And I man, listen, giving my 2 cents, I told Dalen that all last year because COVID set in, they were at home. It was up to them to, like you say, be accountable. Get online and I've been telling them certain things all his life, and it's like, man, I shouldn't have to get up every morning, come upstairs, make sure you on the computer for 8 o'clock, 8:15, 8:30. That's you. You need to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because that becomes a life lesson. Because later on, when it's time for you to be on the field for them 3 days or whatever you need to do, you need to be on time. You need to do this. Like it shapes your mind in a different way. And then me, I was the one. If I'm seeing I got the notification come on my phone every day.
Hey,
So
like me.
if I'm seeing something I don't like, I need an answer. Like, what's up with this? You know what I'm saying? Oh, the teacher didn't put the grades in. Man, listen. Well, you talk to the teacher, and that's their job. They need to get them grades in. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to see this. Like, I shouldn't be seeing anything other than what's acceptable and where you should be because of the very thing you're saying. Last year was his freshman year, and I tried to tell him the whole while. He did great. He did great his freshman year. All kids slip a little bit, but they just have to be mindful that it's important. You know what I'm saying? And how important it is, and just to take the accountability and do what they need to do from being online. Turning in their work on time and all that stuff because the academics is definitely the biggest part. Like I tell them, it's up to you at the end of the day and how bad you want it. I'm telling you. And them teachers, if you keep emailing them and you stay on top of them, they're gonna hit you about your kid and they're gonna let you know. I have a couple of them hit me on the email. Ask Dalen just double check with them. I'm like, what? They're like, well, no, it's not a big deal. I just want to make sure they don't want me emailing them, and so they trying to show me the accountability that they're holding as well. So it just all really works together. And some people might not have the opportunity to do that and the time to do that because of work or whatever the case may be. But you just got to figure it out, man. You got to figure it out. You got to make it happen.
And no such thing out of time when you're dealing with your kid because it's gonna come back and hurt you in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? When it comes time for graduation or it comes time to get accepted in college, you got to make the time because it'll cost you later.
Yeah.
I got kids, 27, 21.
Right.
I got an 11-year-old. It'll cost you later if they don't do what they're supposed to do right now. It'll cost you money later.
Yeah. Later on.
So get on this right now.
Yeah.
So very important.
So do you have a certain age group that you're working with? When do you start working with them? At what age, or the process? What can they expect when they come to Ray?
Well, I started with high school. I typically start at high school, preferably freshman.
Okay.
I like to deal with. Sometimes I have some parents that know what I do. Been doing this a long time. Like I've been doing this since 2012. Actually, like 2011. Mm-hmm. But Ray Recruiting 2012. I've been doing this, with my son. Since 2011. But they'll come to me and say, "Hey man, I need help with my son." And guess what year they son me?
10th or 11th.
No, senior year.
Come on, man.
I mean, and that's how I look. Like, golly, I'm gonna do everything I can, but hey,
should have been doing this.
Yeah, we should have been on this. You know what I do. But sometimes they go to some of these other recruiter sites, and I'm not gonna mention the names, but what they'll do, they'll put them on a database. They'll put them on a database, and if a coach happen to click in and put up their name and put up the information, it's not the same the way I work. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So what I do is I contact them. I email them. I contact them. I go on the phone with them. Promote your child. And a lot of people say, "What I need a recruiting service for to do that for me?" But the thing about it, if I ask you about your son, you gonna tell? I'm a college coach. You gonna tell me anything negative about your son? Mm-hmm. Of course not. So your word don't hold as much weight. You know what I mean? So, and it comes to the fact that I've been doing it so long, I got to the point where I get on the phone, I call a coach, "Hey, man, I got a kid. You know what I'm saying, that you can do." And because of my relationship with that coach and how long I've been doing it, the products I put out there, be like, "Okay, cool." You know what I'm saying? And bang with me, I've seen that's happened a few times. They been in need of a certain position, whatever the case may be, and they accept them right away, as long as they're academically eligible. Yeah. But and that's the thing with me. So what you're saying about your son, like, okay, we heard this
a million one times. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's the difference. That's the main difference.
Okay. And so with what you're doing, it's like, what do you expect from a kid and what they give back to Ray's Recruiting? Is there anything that you require from the student outside of academics? Is there anything that you require from them to make it easier for you to promote them, I guess?
Only thing I asked them to give me is actually give themselves the respect, to those coaches. Everything go back to respect for me.
Right.
That's how I was brought up.
Right.
Respect themselves, understand their situation, understand their crowd. So I help. In other words, help me help you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You're not helping me if you're not academically taking care of your business. You're not helping me if you're out there being disrespectful to your teachers in the classroom. I'll tell you something. When these coaches are giving out this kind of money, they're giving out these scholarship opportunities. They're checking everything about you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, they're checking everything about you from the coaches, position coaches, the teachers. They're checking because they're gonna invest. They're investing in you.
Yeah.
For their program.
Yeah.
You getting a free education. Guess what? They're investing in their program.
Okay.
It's generated by dollars. So it's very important that they go and do what they're supposed to do. I'm just asking you to help me help you.
Right.
Do what you're supposed to do. Keep your grades. Stay respectful and work hard.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Man, I'm talking about be the first one at the practice, last one staying over. I mean, it's if you want it,
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta love what you do.
Yeah.
And you find out a lot of kids find out once they get to college, like, man, this is serious.
Yes.
In high school, you got your 2 days and you come in for film, but in college, man, man, you ask my son, it's a schedule.
Yeah.
It starts at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You gotta be committed. You gotta have that work ethic. You gotta be dedicated because they're giving out thousands of dollars,
right?
And they expect certain things from you.
So let's talk about a little bit when I ask you like what you expect from them. What do you tell these athletes, man, when it comes to social media and how they handle their social media? Because I try to instill this in my kids so much because it's gonna make you or break you. It's how I see it. What's your take on that?
I mean, it's so scary.
Right.
As parents, you don't know what your kids.
Because information is just so quick, and they hiding with these profiles. So what's your take on that?
My take on that is to be respectful. Do what you're supposed to do. Because everybody can see what you're saying, and it's sort of scary. Your son can put something out, your daughter can put something out, and out of frustration, maybe towards our coach or whatever the case may be. I had a kid do that a few years back. One of my kids, he got frustrated with his coach. He said, "I'm leaving this program. I'm going to another school." And his coach called me because I have a relationship with a lot of high school coaches. Mm-hmm. Coach called me right away. Hey, what's going on with such and such? I said, "What you mean?" And he's talking about leaving this program, going over here. Well, I mean, what's going on? Wow. So I get right on the horn with his parents, get right on the horn. I'm like, you can't do this.
Right.
You can't act off emotion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And kids are emotional. And boys and girls are both emotional at this age in high school. So they feel like coach say something or do something to them. They want to put it right on Twitter or Instagram, whatever the case may be, and say some things that can hurt them, depending on who the coach is, because that can hurt you and the coach don't want to deal with you no more. Yeah. You don't want that situation. Some coaches are able to like, okay, man, we're good and we'll talk it through. But some coaches, people are people. Yeah. Everybody's different.
That's the thing you can't take away. People are definitely people. We have I guess somebody sent an invite. I don't know if it was on purpose or not. Do you know Patricia Holland on IG? Let me just see. I'm gonna just send an invite, see what she's talking about, and we'll go from there. So Patricia, if you still logged in to us on IG, we're waiting on you to join us to answer whatever it is you may have. So I'm gonna just hold this. But man, yeah, this well here she's coming in. She's coming in. Let's see. Waiting on it to pop up. We can't see you. I think I have some sound, but I can't see you on the screen, Ms. Patricia, if you're there. We'll give it a couple more minutes and then we'll get back. But what's my mom said? She said they have to be careful. Yeah, that will come back and haunt you. So what type of I guess I would say success stories? What is there anything that has really just turned out to be a big deal for you at this point in time that you'd like to share with the listeners?
Man, I have a lot of success stories. But I just go as recent success stories. Man, my most recent one partner that I know, a boy called me about his son, Kellen Stewart.
Okay.
He played quarterback for Terry last year. First time playing quarterback. Mm-hmm. He said, "Man, D-Ray, my son had no offense, man. I'm scared. What do I do?" He's in the senior. He's in the middle of his season. He's getting ready. He's like 2 games into his season.
Right.
And these are guys I grew up with. My heart goes out to them. And And I'm like, man, give me all your information, give me everything you got, so I can start putting some stuff out. Immediately, I started getting contacts about him because he's a very good kid. And one thing I heard about this kid, and I see him through the years coming up, Kevin Stewart, for example. He's at Austin Pay. We got a full ride, Division One scholarship to play football. But the thing about it, when he started out, I'm telling you, at game 3 of his seniors, and he's been playing varsity. This is a kid. He's been playing varsity since it's like his sophomore year. Wow. Playing varsity sophomore year, extremely great athlete. Actually won state in some track events. He's just a great kid. One thing I always heard about him, the coaches said, man, he's a great kid, super coachable. I mean, he does everything right. So I'm doing everything I can to help him. And like I said, he had 0 offers, no interest in anything. By the time we get to the end of the season, midway through the season, this guy had, what I'm saying, I got him about 4 or 5 offers right away. Not Division One at that time, wasn't Division One. A couple of schools looking at him, Lamar. I didn't like what they were talking about. The parents didn't like what they were talking about. Then Austin Peck came through, full ride, and that doesn't happen all the time. So I don't suggest, coming in at the last moment like that. But these are kids that I know from the community, right? Guys I know I grew up with, and I try to do everything I can. And it's stressful for me. Yeah. Because when you see and you hear these good things, you hear these good things about this kid, you want to do everything you can to help him. Yeah. And so, man, don't stress me out like that. Don't put me in that situation.
Get with you now.
Get with me early, so we can get with me early. So
and look, here's a good thing to do. I always give my people the opportunity to share your social media and things like that. So let the people know how they can look into what you got going on, how to follow you, all that stuff. And then I'll actually add that.
Okay. Add that up. Instagram. I just started Instagram. I'm not real familiar with Instagram, to be honest with you. I just started that one, but Instagram, you can follow me at Ray Recruiting. Same thing for Twitter. Been on there for a while. Follow me at Ray Recruiting on Twitter. And also my website, www.rayrecruiting.com. Okay. So everything's easy. It's very simple. Ray Recruiting, one word. And you hit me in the DM or you can send me a message. Go on my website. I have a lot of tips. Complete a profile of your athlete so I can get back with you. And that's just like a profile. I'm going to send a profile, give me some brief information about your kid and what they can do, what they've been doing, things of that nature. And then we can go from there. Okay. So I'm telling you, like some parents came to me and say, hey, my son got a 2.1 GPA. I can't help you. I don't guarantee anything.
And it's www.rayrecruiting.com. You said? Yes, sir. Okay. All right. So we'll put that up at the bottom of the screen so people can follow that. Ray Recruiting on social media and the website. So if you guys are interested in following his website or checking out his DM, just follow the information here at the bottom of the screen. Coach Smith, what's up, baby? I see Coach just joined us, Coach Charles Smith. He jumped in on
family right there.
Yeah, that's definitely family, man. So big ups to him and his wife as well and all his sons, man. They're doing some fantastic things. So appreciate you checking us out on IG, brother. But yeah, so and again, for those of you who are watching on Instagram, you can always go to the YouTube page or you can check out the Facebook page for the Reach Podcast Show if you want to see all the graphics and actually get the information. But I'll put it in the comments later on for everybody on IG. But yeah, man. I mean, it's important to start early. That's my thing. It's very important to start early. And the topic I was touching on for me is if we can get these kids to figure out their why early in life, man. That's huge for me.
It's tough too.
It is. It's tough. It's like, how do you make somebody do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You really can't. But that's the hope. But I just feel like, like I tell you with my organization, man, exposing and posing opportunities to these kids. The more you give them, I feel like they'll clinch on to something and they'll hold on. And in this case, if they're wanting to be an athlete, exposing them to all the different things in a lineup of what they'll go through throughout the time to make sure they got the heart.
Right.
Because a lot of it is all about heart, man. I was listening to a podcast the other day. And it's with man Eric Thomas, talking about success. They were talking about the finals and talking about how the different athletes from one game to the next, they are just totally different. You in Milwaukee 1 minute playing and you scoring. Then then you go back to Phoenix and you ain't doing the same, or vice versa. And he's like, what's the difference? You know, the goals in Phoenix are 10 feet tall.
Right.
The court is 94 feet. Go to Milwaukee, it ain't like it's 12 feet, you know, and 96 feet or something. So there's nothing changed. And they talked about how it's the mentality.
Exactly.
You know, and they were talking about having home court advantage, and you know, people make that a thing, and you know, when you're at home, you got to play better, and this, that, and the other. And they were making the comparisons from, you know, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and what is it that they possessed that made them so different? It's all about the mentality. Every time they step on the court, they wanted it to be their best. Everybody, well, if you came up in our area, everybody knew about Jordan, you know, in the stories. And in a game of 21, he's trying to tear your head off. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just the mentality that he possessed, and that he just displayed every time he got on the court. So, what is your take on that, or what do you tell kids when it comes to their mentality, man, and how important that is?
Mentality, I always talk about, it goes back to work ethic, and like you say, your why. Why do I want to do this? Why do you want to do this? A good friend of mine, Marcus Christian, he always tell me he used to play ball at LU.
Yeah.
Actually won a national championship back in 2000. I don't like to talk about who you got.
Right.
Texas guy. But, you know what I'm saying, he always used to tell me on his bandage, he got put, his why was, he gonna put on his bandage his mom name, his family, you know, because it's bigger than you.
Bigger than you.
And that's what kids have to understand. It's bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? It's about my family, putting your family in a better situation financially. So it's always have to be bigger than you, and you have to not be selfish.
Right.
You know, you got to know your parents are giving it all. Like, man, these parents today, me being one of them, we commit so much time and energy and money into our kids. It's like they feel like, well, we're just supposed to do that.
Right.
We're supposed to put you on the AAU team and spend $1,500 and spend $1,000 hotels, you know what I mean, depending on what AAU team you're a part of,
Right.
how much you have to pay. So they feel like they're just obligated.
Right.
It's not. It don't work that way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's through your hard work and your commitment. So kids have to understand it has to be bigger than them.
Yeah.
You know, you can save your parents so much money by just working hard in school, keeping your grades up, and working hard on the football field, basketball court, on the diamond, you know, depending on what those sports you play, you know, on the pool if you're a swimmer. And you can save your family so much money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? By putting in the work in the classroom, on the field, on the swimming pool, whatever case, whatever sport you play, you can save your family money.
Yeah.
That's money back in your pocket. So now they don't mind helping you out doing this here.
Yeah.
You might get you a car, you know what I'm saying, a car cash, because your parents don't pay for it, because you don't save them thousands of dollars on education. So they have to know it's bigger than them, and it also helps them.
Yeah.
Parents, man, parents want you help me help you.
Help me.
That's what it's all about.
That's it.
You know,
and
so,
I mean, if kids realize it, you know, we get on them about simple things, the chores and this, that, and the other, and the ones that don't do it, you know, they see us always getting on them. But when they take the initiative to go that extra step, everything for me, man, I try to turn to a life lesson. It's like, if you do the things we actually do at home, if you keep your room clean, I don't never have to ask you. You wash the dishes without us asking. Man, we go above and beyond. Just we could do something extra for them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, my son Nate is hearing that.
Yeah. So Nate, man, do what you got to do. You know, but it ties back to the athletes. You know what I'm saying? Being first on the field, being the last one to get off the field, taking those extra steps. You know, I think that's a big part of it.
Those are things I talk about. You know, when I'm talking to my kids, like for my Cobra football team, when I seen years, we won every Super Bowl since we've been in the league.
Yeah.
And I tell people coming out.
I told y'all, all the Cobras do is win.
and the thing I don't like about it is, and I love to win. Don't get me wrong. I really love to compete more than win. I love to compete more than win.
Right.
And people don't understand what I mean by that. Everybody is when you win, and that's one thing. But competing, you can win or lose, but you competing the whole time, and that's what it's all about. And guys have to understand, when you lose, sometimes you lose, sometimes you win, but sometimes you win games you're not even supposed to win.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and you still have to
turn
put
it
in that
up.
work, right?
Mhm.
So the thing about it is, competing is everything, and it's a part of life.
Right.
You got to compete for a job. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You got to compete for this. You got to compete for everything in your life. And you mentioned guys like Jordan. He ain't just competing basketball.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
LeBron. They didn't just compete in basketball. They competed in life.
Yeah.
Whether Kobe is trying to winning an Emmy,
Yeah.
or LeBron, in the movie industry, talking about what the school he's building.
Mhm.
He wants to do better. These guys want to do better. They want to do big things. You know what I'm saying? guys are billionaires. All came from just working hard and came from a game.
Right.
Able to change their whole family's life. Grandkids, great grandkids, they all changed because of one person's work ethic.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's unbelievable. Competing is everything.
Yeah. And so again, IG listeners and viewers, if you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'll try to pay attention. We'll ask these questions to Coach. Same thing for everybody viewing on Facebook and YouTube. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. We'll address them. Another question I have, I think is a big thing. I'm assuming, haven't done much checking into it, but I would assume you know about it. So I heard there was a law passed where now college athletes can get paid.
Yes.
So this is for me too,
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
listeners and for me. So talk about that a little bit, man. What's going on with that, and how does that change the game?
Well, it changes a lot, to be honest with you.
I think it was needed. I guess that's my opinion on it. I think this is a perfect thing.
I mean, it's warranted, no doubt about it. It's very definitely warranted because so many athletes get. I mean, schools make a lot of money out of the athletes.
Absolutely.
They make a lot of money out of the athletes. But like I tell my sons, don't base your whole life on a dollar.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
Right.
kids right now, I'm telling you, talk to the average 20-year-old, 21-year-old, they all about it. They want to get the bag. They want to get money. My thing, like I tell my son, well, what are you going to do with the money when you get it?
Mhm.
What is your plans? You know what I mean? There's
Mhm.
a time and place for everything. But I mean, kids going to get that money. It's changed a lot. I just read some yesterday for a high school senior at Austin Wake today, the quarterback over there. He's not gonna play his senior year.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because he don't want to play his senior year because in Texas you can't get the money like that for your national letter of intent. So if they want to get that money off the national letter of intent, and my deal is now he's thinking about not forgoing his senior year to go ahead and go to school.
Mhm.
So Ohio State, I believe. I'm like, I thought that was like amazing. Like, wow, he's not gonna go his senior year. Like a lot of guys, they want to go to college maybe a semester earlier to get their second semester. This guy ain't. He's considered not even playing his senior year of football.
Wow.
So if it's gonna hurt like that, I'm like, wow, But to each his own, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's I don't know much about that, but I know it's definitely gonna change a lot of things as far as high school sports and things like that with these kids now. Now kids are getting paid, not just college. These guys are getting paid before.
What is your take on the errors? I guess I would say, and from you being a recruiter, of course, there's some dogs still out there. When I say dogs for the listeners, people that's going hard. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like these athletes these days are coming up the way it used to be, where they're really competing because they want to compete? They're really playing because this is what they want to do, or do you feel like everybody is chasing the dollar? Like, speaking of this money they're offering, do you feel like, and this is a general statement. I know there's,
Right.
There's individuals that's, like the old school people. But what's your take on that, man? And I have a problem with it, but then I don't have a problem with it, right? Because for so long, athletes been exploited, and back in the day they were getting the money, but not really getting the money. Look at it these days, I don't feel like they're competing as hard, and they're getting double, if not quadruple, the amount of contracts and monies that people deserved back in the day. What's
we
your
talk
take
about from
on
a
that?
pro standpoint.
From going into pro, going
Okay.
into pro.
I mean, times are different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you know more, you do more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So at that time, guys didn't understand what they was able to make. They
Right.
didn't understand how much, that the owners are making all this money off of you. If it wasn't for you, they wouldn't have this. And then you're making their families rich. And so I get it and I understand it, no doubt about it. But you just have to understand if it affects your game, how you play, you know what I mean? So, because those guys back, they played because they loved the game.
They love the game.
They played hard.
Yeah.
It was different, and you got sacrificed a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, these kids, they sacrifice a lot.
They do. They do.
If these kids today, I'm telling you, are treated like pros at a
Right.
really, really early age. So what do pros do? They focus on what? One sport.
Mhm.
Now some coaches or whatever case may be, even parents, they want you to, hey, when I was a kid, I played basketball, football, track. We played it all. You know what I'm saying?
Played it all. Triathletes and all that.
Nowadays, they want you to specify one sport you need to play, and that's like Wow, look, you know what
We went through that.
what happened
It
to
makes
being a
me
kid?
laugh. We went through that last year. They would play until basketball season was over. It was like, if you want to play basketball, okay, that's cool, but come to us when you get done with that. You can't go to both. I don't know, man. It's crazy.
And I have an issue with that. I have a major issue with that. I have the issue with my middle son, DJ. Division one athlete. And they wanted him when he was in high school. When he was, at a particular high school, they wanted him to say, "Oh, he can only play football. He can't play basketball." What do you mean, my son can't play basketball?
Yeah.
And we're not just talking about just out there playing basketball. I mean, when I transferred, it was a 3-year letter.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Terry, I mean, they all made like one game away from going to state. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't like he just couldn't. We talking about a 3-year letter, man. You know what I'm saying? 3-year letter at football. So why are you gonna stop him from playing basketball? And the thing I tell people like all these recruiters, they came to more basketball games than they came to football games.
Right, right.
So I advise parents and I advise kids, don't lock down on one sport. Do everything you can, enjoy it. Because when you become on a certain level, like in college industry, like super athlete, you're only gonna be playing one sport. It's gonna be one that you're focusing on. So when you're in high school, have fun.
Right.
Enjoy high school. You only get that one time in your life. Enjoy it. If you want to play football, play football. You want to play basketball, play it all. Baseball, do everything you can.
Everything
If the coach got a problem with that, parents have to actually talk to that coach. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not right.
And figure it out. Yeah. I mean, I have the same take on that, man. I feel like they should experience as much as they can when they're younger and then have the opportunity to still possibly do both,
Right.
even on the pro level.
Right.
So, it's just hard to navigate the water. Well, not hard, but it's a little different to navigate the waters these days in that arena. But so what are some, I guess I would say, well, this is another question I had. Off season and in season. How the kids operate and what they do in season, what they do in off season. What are some? And to us, it would be basic, right? There's some people that's listening that are just now dealing with it, like you talked about. First time dealing with your son graduating. Trying to get him into a school. It's some stuff you didn't know you had to figure out. What is your take on the off season versus being in season and how these athletes should operate?
Man, I'm telling you, to be honest with you, depending on what sport you're talking about, nowadays it is no off season. Because like I said before, it's like they're trying to they put you down in one sport, lock you in on one sport. So for football, for example, you have your actual regular season, but then you also have 7-on-7.
Right.
So you have strength and conditioning.
Right.
So so basketball to me it is no off season.
Right.
You got
right.
you got
Year
school.
round. Yeah.
That's basically year round. That's why you get so many kids now that have injuries.
Right.
And when I was in school, when you was in school, how many kids? How many teammates that tore their ACL?
Yep.
That doesn't happen. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? But so much wear and tear on their body, especially in the AAU season. So you got to be real careful of who you with. Because you playing 5-6 games over a weekend. These kids are growing. And their body's not really ready for that kind of the activity.
Right.
They think they are, but you need to train.
Right.
You need to have that time off to train.
Yeah.
But as far as I go with it, in some sports there really is no off season. In other sports, you got to condition your body, train, get in the weight room.
Yeah.
Very, very important.
So you're big on, I guess, taking a little bit of a break. So that
And not
way,
even a break from the sport itself.
from the sport itself, and
Yeah.
give you, and like you say, condition and train,
Right.
and give yourself time to rebuild and stuff like that. I totally understand it. I mean, and the type of conditioning you're doing is sport targeted too.
Exactly.
There's people don't understand that there's certain things that you can do this for one sport, not necessarily for another sport. And I think it's important to get a trainer for these kids, or at least talk to somebody and mentor people. You know what I mean? So that way they can be doing the right things with their kids. What is your I guess nuggets or jewels or whatever that you would leave with our listeners in regards to just the whole recruiting process? If you had to do like an elevator pitch type deal, what would you say to the people in regards to preparing their kids to come to Ray's recruiting?
I would tell them it's definitely necessary. When you come in, I'm gonna help you out 100%. I'm gonna show you the way to help you help your kid, and that end goal is save you money. Save you money. While still kid can use the school's money rather than your money.
Right.
Okay. Another thing is stay committed. Say I'm gonna stay committed to them. They stay committed to me. I'm gonna help them. Some kids like Dylan Bell, for example, another success story.
Yeah.
This kid right here is special.
Man,
He's
shout out to Miss D too, man.
Man,
That
Miss D,
lady over
man.
there
Man.
raising them two young boys. Shout out to
Man.
Michael Bell
Man.
and Dylan Bell. Yeah, the
And
Bell
these two,
boys.
man, she called me up, and I watched some film. I've been doing it for a long time. Watched
Right.
some film on her. And she's a dedicated parent.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, she called me. What do I need to do? How I need to do it? I say, this is what we need to do. I said, I'm gonna be honest with you. For you, I'm not even charging you.
Yeah.
But your kids that special.
Yeah.
Your kids really don't need a guy like me.
Right.
To be honest with you, because I help those kids that's trying to get there. You know what I mean? Your kid, he's gonna be okay. This is before he had $20 off.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell her, but she's a committed parent.
Yeah.
I said, if you're a committed parent, you're committed to your kids
And
being successful. Oh, very.
Yeah.
Miss D. Johnson, very. So when I talked to her, hey, gave her information. I put out so much information for her son, so many college coaches. This kid got like 25 offers.
Yeah.
Go anywhere he wants to in the city.
Anywhere.
Great kid though. Great family. She did a really good thing, helping her kids, and that's what I'm telling you. Just put everything you can in your kid. Give it to me. Together we can get that guy on the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah. No guarantees, but I've had 100% success.
Yeah.
I can't guarantee you that.
Yeah, you can't guarantee it because the game is tricky. And speak a little bit on that. Why is it, if that's something that can be answered, why is it that you can't guarantee? You know, for those people that come in thinking that, oh, well, you're going to have to do this, you have to do that, you know, I'm sure you'd be like, okay, well, go to somebody who's going to guarantee it,
Right,
you know,
right.
if that's what it is. But why is it not a guarantee?
Because you're dealing with like the child, if they don't make the grades or they don't perform on the football field, they coach say something negative about them. Like I say, your relationship with your coach is very important.
Mm-hmm.
And the coach might say something negative about your son, but the scary thing is he could be telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If he's telling the truth about well, he don't work hard.
Yeah.
A coach ain't gonna like that. That's why I say your relationship with your head coach is very, very important.
Yeah.
Parents can ruin opportunities for their own kids. Staying in the coach's ear, getting on the coach's nerve. But coaches don't even. It ain't never the kids.
Man, I'm glad you brought that up because that was one of my questions. I almost forgot about it. You know, we were talking yesterday. I had a meeting, and it's a good transition point. I want to talk about what we have going on with our other fellas. And she's like, "What's your name again? LeVar Ball?" Like, nah. And I was like, and then I come to find out she was trying to be funny, you know.
Right.
But I was like, man, nah, that definitely not LeVar Ball, man. And it goes back to being in the way, you know. Talk about that, man. Like that's crazy. To me, he ruined them,
Hey,
you know,
LeVar
in regards to what it could have
Let me
been.
tell you something. LeVar Ball is awesome.
Yeah.
No. He's awesome, and people like, man, this guy's always in the way. This guy's the biggest advocate for his kids.
Yeah.
You know, he might go about it a certain kind of way.
Yeah.
He's look, you know what I'm saying? He's a different kind of fella, but he does a lot of good things for his boys. Think about it. Every single one of his boys got D1 scholarships. 2 of his boys in the pro. All 3 of them in the pro.
Right.
This guy's doing something right. I got 3 sons. If I just get one of them in the pros, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which I don't care about that. All I care about is education, to be honest with you. But I mean, he's doing some good things, but parents will see that and say, I'm at like that. His boys are super talented.
Yeah.
Super. I'm at all 3 of them.
And let me say this, not like he messed up everything, because you got to get to a certain point, and you got to be doing some things right to even get to that point. Like you say, all the kids are in the league, but I feel like, in my opinion, at a certain point, you done your job. You know what I'm saying? Now it's time to, you know, sit back and reap the benefits is what I'm talking about. And that ain't him. He wanted to keep going, you know, and that's what I'm talking about on that level. It's like, and I mean, I know that's well beyond, you know, what you're doing at the level you're doing it, but just for those parents that are just like overly in the way, you know, how important is that? That's what I'm speaking on. For everybody listening on IG and Facebook that love LeVar Ball. There's no shot at it, but bringing up the topic of we got to learn how to get out the way.
Parents have to be able to stay in their lane. You know what I mean? When it comes to coaches, let the coaches do their job. Like I said, you can ruin opportunities. There's some coaches that don't want to coach kids, not because of the kids, but because of the parent. Because of the parent. And I've been in a situation before, you know, coaching youth, like, man, I can win games with the best of them. I can lose. I'm okay with part of
compete.
man, and we compete and we learn and that learning.
Yeah.
So, but to deal with a parent because of how good their kid is and they think they do this here, man, it's ridiculous how some coaches just let kids play in AAU world, let them bounce from team to team to team. That's not really teaching your kid how to play ball. You know what I'm saying? He's just getting buckets.
Yeah.
If you want to learn how to play basketball, you gotta be with the team and understand your role.
Yeah.
Your role might be
Be a role player.
Hey, your role might be to drop 25 points a game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your role might be that, but your role changes as you go to like high school.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't be in the same role you playing in on an AAU team and playing in high school. You shouldn't be playing that same role.
Right.
You know, it should be a different role so you can show you're a dynamic basketball player, for example.
Yeah.
But man, I mean, it's very important to stay out the way and trust people. And big thing for parents, ignore those rankings.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those rankings, man, kids, you can tell kids that all day long, but parents that look at these rankings like, man, what this kid right here ranked, number 2, this kid right here ranked number 2. My son ain't ranked. It ain't about that. You know what I'm saying? My oldest son, I got him scholarship, he was ranked like number 112 in the city at the time. For Jimmy Hicks. You know what I'm saying? I have no problem with that. But next to everybody's name, when you have all these rankings, next to their name will be a school they're attending. Now, you got the first top 20, whatever, they got their school, and you got this big gap. You get all the way down to 112. You got the Devon 3 rating, you got the school that he's going to be attending that next fall.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
That's what
It's about them having that opportunity. It ain't about where they ranked at. It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
Then
That can change.
That can change.
Clearly.
And it don't even matter.
Yeah.
And my point of that story, it doesn't even matter where they ranked at. My thing is all about them balling and making that impression on that one coach.
Yeah.
I don't care if you got 50 off.
Yeah, and that's
good.
good.
Go to one school.
That's good, man, for any students that may be listening. Listen, some parents think their kids are better than they are. Yeah, we won't get into that conversation.
Everybody think their kids are better than they are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nate, we feel you on that. Absolutely. We won't piss nobody off, so we'll bypass that. But no, man, he made me laugh because I was actually thinking about that, man. Man, I lost my thought reading that comment. But one thing about it is that as these kids are growing and they're looking at all the different things that are coming across social media, worrying about the rankings, like you say. For me, when I think about it now, it's like you're only good as your last game, so to speak, or your last season, or depending on what you're looking at, you're only good as you were that last game, in that last situation. So I definitely like that. It's like just don't really worry about that. It's about you getting to that level that you're trying to get to. I think is what you focus on.
And they have to understand that, like when I first got to this situation, this business, but the thing that really owned me to it, I have so many nieces and nephews, I have sons. I come from a family, like I'm telling you, all my nieces and nephews, they all play ball. Mm-hmm. Like there's on a high level. Yeah. I got Naya 3. A lot of people don't know about Naya 3. What I actually do at Dulles. Dulles went 24-1. She's MVP of district, state. You know what I'm saying? She's like big time athlete. What I'm saying? Been that way since our freshman year on the court. My nephew, Gary Ray at Terry High School, been a freshman starting on varsity. Since starting on varsity freshman year. So I have a lot of people in my family, so I owe that to them to put them in a situation. Some of them need it, some of them don't. But that's why I love this game, man. My whole family is like a bunch of athletes. It's ridiculous, shout out to them because they coming into their senior year. When these kids from this tall, and all they want to do is be like their bigger cousins. That's what they want to be. They want to get that. All they think about is getting a scholarship playing college ball because they know it's possible. Yeah, and it is. It's possible for a lot of kids when they put in that work and they love what they do.
Yeah. And shout out to my sister tuning in, Miss Sharika. What's up, young lady? I see you tuning in to the show. And Rosemary was in on us on Instagram. But yeah, if you can get her on the Facebook or something like that, she can see more about what we have going on and being displayed. But so something I'd like to just spit out and offer as we transition into the talk about what we have to come and what people can look forward to is with my podcast, man, there's so many different things I'm trying to do. Good friend of mine is helping redevelop the image and the look that we have going on. And I like to offer up, interviews to your athletes, you know what I'm saying? And just do sizzle reels. I know that's a big part of it, you know what I'm saying? And just help them because a big part of it is when they're doing interviews, you always hear the that's where I would be coming from. Just put that camera in their face and help them understand how big of a deal that is.
That's very important.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, when my nieces and nephews or players I know get interviewed, I'd be so nervous.
Yeah.
Like, they just so nervous. So that's very awesome that you put that into play.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to get with you about
Okay.
that.
Yeah, we're gonna do that, man. Which, like I said, leads to leads to what we have going on, man. Shouts out to Mo Better Boxing again, Lewis Brown. This guy, they're going is it Corpus Christi this weekend.
Right.
They're competing out there. Last week they went to his hometown, Indianapolis. They did it big out there in Indianapolis. Man, if you're not, I know people have been following again. Y'all saw me over at Mo Better Boxing. Haven't been pushing that as much, but it's still all love, man. There's still those guys over there doing some dynamic things, and they're getting better every week. You know, the gym is growing. But myself, you, Lewis Brown, Damian, Big D, and we have a couple other people. I won't mention names yet because we haven't solidified that. We're coming up with a sports academy, I guess is what we can say.
Right.
You know, and offering these kids different opportunities, and the music part of it is something that we're going to be including, and that's with Damian. But we're making it just one group, one deal,
Right.
you know, and we want to give the kids the opportunity to be at their best in all ways, you know. So what does it mean to you with what we have going on, and what do you see coming from that?
Man, development.
Yeah.
Development, because their minds. And, shout out to, CSA, Better Sports Academy, with my boy Wayne Steve. He's originally from Miami. That's what I was doing with him. My boy Frank Williams. He's just bringing these kids from different sports avenues, from track, robotics, putting different things in their mind. Because one thing about this is, when you touch these youngsters, you put them to a level, and you just train their mind. We really, like you said all the time, like chess, you're a big chess guy. That's one of my biggest quotes when I'm talking about no matter what sport I'm dealing with, I'm coaching, whether it's football or basketball. I tell my kids all the time, play chess.
Yeah.
You have to play chess.
Yeah.
You can't play checkers. You got to think about the next move and the move after that.
Right.
So it's very important to touch their minds, to get into their mind and their thought process, to help them grow as young men and young ladies.
Yeah. And just to speak on that a little bit more, man, I'm just sitting here, my mind is going with different things we can do. And shout out to my man Dalen. My oldest son is logged in, and his grandma talked to him through the comments. So I appreciate you both listening in and tuning in. But yes, Dalen, go back, rewind this interview when it's over, and watch it from beginning to end. But with chess, man, there's a strategies that you can learn for those that know chess and understand chess. This is no news to you. For those that don't understand chess, don't play chess, never play chess. There's an opening game, a middle game, and an ending game. And then there's so many strategies at each level of the game that can be applied, and to help you conquer. And if you apply those things, man, you can't do nothing but win. And so I tie that thought process into life. When you're young, that's the opening game.
Right.
When you our age, it's like the middle game, and then
Right.
where are you trying to get to it? Because you're setting everything up at each stage of the game. You're setting things up. You're putting it how you want it to be, and
Very
you're
true.
already calculating the things to come. And that's my thing with chess and with these youngsters. Think ahead.
Yeah.
It's critical thinking. You're an example of that.
Right.
You talked about you knew who your wife was, you knew what you wanted to do, blah blah blah. And I'm a victim to the other side of things. I didn't take advantage of certain things and coming up like I could have, I guess I would say. And so that's why I'm so motivated to help these youngsters again find your why early. Because when you find that why, or if you're just super focused like you was, it changes the game for you just overall. In the end, you just become super focused. You become a little bit more goal oriented, and in the process, so definitely playing chess will help you understand. And like I was telling y'all yesterday on that meeting, there's 10 benefits to chess that I push.
Right.
And people would think that it's some complicated concept, and it's really simple. And it'll help you understand how everybody in your life is a certain piece on the chessboard. How things can just really tie together and again become a life lesson, man. So we're going to incorporate the chess club again. You'll get to be a part of that this time with working with us and the boys, because I haven't launched it back yet. So that's something that we're going to be doing here pretty soon. So Nah, bro.
No, my last thoughts, man, just parents out there that's trying to put their kids on a different spectrum, different avenues you go through. You can holler at the boy Marcus Sloan, you know what I'm saying? OTR on the radar events, exposure. I'm sorry. Get with him, you know. So if you want to put your kid on the next level, try to get them some exposure, or if you want to get the kid a college opportunity, get with me. I'm gonna put them on the next level. Help me, help you. Help me, help your athlete, and everything. Put it in my hands, and I gotta take it from there.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. Yeah. So I mean, you're doing some great things. So again, in closing, let people know how they can find you. Like I always say, this is your commercial time, man. Tell people how to find you. And I'll also
Ray
put
Recruiter
it
make
on
it very
screen.
easy for you. Ray Recruiting. You can look at my website. You can get with me on Instagram, Twitter, whatever the case may be. I prefer Twitter. Instagram, just not trying to figure out how to work that.
Gotcha.
But still, I can still get back with you. I stay on it. Go to my website. Any information you need, I'm here for you. I got you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And in closing, the biggest thing about it is it takes a village. We were kind of talking about that, man.
Yeah.
It takes a village to get these kids to the next level. So you can't do it by yourself. It takes everybody doing their part and understanding how important it is to help these kids and do what we need to do. And Terrence Banks says thanks for sharing the information. So that's what it's all about. Just as simple as that. Sharing the information and make sure that if you're an athlete that's not locked in with somebody, they might as well call you. You're a brother that loves what he's doing, that knows what he's doing, and you got success stories, you got the credentials to back you up. And I just wish you nothing but the best, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So leave the people with a last statement, man, and then we're gonna get up out of here.
Last statement for the people. Teach your kids, hold your kids accountable, and make them work hard. And nothing but success will come.
Yeah, absolutely. We checking. I can reach this. So for those that are on IG, you can go to YouTube and you can catch the Reach Podcast Show. The Facebook. Let me rephrase that. You can go to the Reach Podcast Show channel, and all of my shows that I have are going to be on there. It's actually streaming live to YouTube right now, or you can go on Facebook and you can go to the Reach Podcast Show Facebook page. That's how you can find it. That's for DJ Wayne, baby, on IG. Appreciate you tuning in and staying with us. So yeah, again, that's the Reach Podcast Show on YouTube. Just find the channel. And also, I'd like everybody to do something. If you could like, subscribe, and share to the YouTube channel, that is something that we're focusing on. Getting the YouTube channel really, really going and just getting the word out because it's called the Reach Podcast Show for a reason. We're trying to reach everybody that we can in different areas and different ways and on a bunch of different levels. This show is not about one thing in particular or another, but it is about information. And at the end of the day, it's about helping our younger generation so that they can grow up, be a stand-up guy like my man D. Ray, help them get focused and understand their why at an early age is really what the bottom line is, man. Exposing and imposing opportunities for our youngsters. So we appreciate everybody tuning in. We appreciate all the comments, the feedback. And if you're an athlete, if you want to be an athlete, if you're uh, going along in your journey and you don't really know what to do, I'm sure my man will just give you some tips. But if you're in high school, remember, he said freshman year is really where it all begins. And you definitely want to get with him. I'd say like in middle school, so he can tutor you and get you to the things that you need to do. So that way when you get in high school, you can definitely get on track to doing the things that you need to do and get picked up. Let's see. Taylor says next week the news will be at practice. They will be going and talking to players. Yeah, absolutely. So we appreciate everybody tuning in. So again, go to the YouTube page, the Reach Podcast Show channel, like and subscribe to the channel. And we're here every week from 10:30 to noon every week. We're going to be making some changes. We might be pre-recording some shows with the new crew that I got going on. So we'll be getting more interviews in. So if you want to be a show sponsor, reach out to us, DM us, or reach us at the Reach Podcast Show at gmail.com. If you have any type of sponsorships you want to provide, or if you need to expose your business in any type of way, hit us up. We'll put a commercial on for you, and we'll make sure that you can be the next interview or you're the next person that we're highlighting to is all about helping the community and reaching everybody. So again, it's the Reach Podcast Show, where every show reaches beyond the ears of the listeners. Again, brother, thank you for being here. I
Thanks for
appreciate
having
you.
me.
Absolutely. And so until next week, man, we got some great shows lined up for the next month and a half. So you guys stay locked in, stay tuned. We appreciate you.